Good evening, everybody. Hello, how are you all doing? Thank you very much for joining me. We'll see we've got a few on already, which is great. I'm going to be doing a live stream for the next hour or so, as usual, and I thought it would be a good idea to do a World Cup of George Harrison All Things Must Pass songs. I say I thought it would be a good idea. It wasn't my idea originally. We have the person whose idea it was originally seems to be knocking around Sheffield and beyond. He suggested it on a live stream a few weeks ago, and I said, yeah, why not? We'll do that. We'll do that before All Things Must Pass comes out for the new 50th anniversary. So here it is. This is it. I'm going to do it tonight, live. You are going to help pick the winners. I found a way potentially to stop you lot cheating as much as you did last time by doing multiple quick answers. So hard luck if you were planning on cheating. Will this go to penalties, says John Norris? No, my nerves could not stand it. I never want to see another penalty again in my life. What a horrible Sunday night that was, eventually. So, hello everybody. Lots of hellos coming through. Hello. No, you won't cheat, RoboTube, because I'm going to make sure you don't. I found a little setting in YouTube that means that I can probably stop you all from cheating. So we're going to come on to that. We're going to come on to the All Things Must Pass World Cup soon. Before that, if anybody's got anything that they want to talk about, any questions, comments, anything like that, send them through. We'll have a little bit of a chat, and then we shall move on. It usually takes a little while for a lot of people to join anyway, so we'll come to that fairly soon anyway. So I hope you've all been well. What news have I got? Well, you can see I'm still in the same room. The most long, protracted, drawn-out house move of all time, possibly. But it might be happening soon. It might even be as soon as next week, possibly. And I can't not do this. I can't not share my other news with you. That's my new granddaughter. I'm a granddad. As of 11 days ago, that is my granddaughter, Poppy. So it's been a very interesting couple of weeks. So I'm very, very happy about that. So that's been fun. What have we got? I'm going to try and keep on top of the chat as well, because I think last time I just went off on one and you were all asking great questions and comments and I just didn't get to see a lot of it. So I'm going to try and keep on top of that. Anyway, Sheffield and beyond. This is interesting news I haven't seen. Bob Dylan Bootleg Series 16. This is new to me as I'm reading it. Springtime in New York, 1980 to 85. 5-disc released in September. Brilliant. 80 to 85. It's not the golden period, is it? But I'm going to have to read up on that once we're done. Thank you for letting me know that. You'll be watching that concert this weekend, won't you? Thank you for all the congratulations, Eric. Yes, thank you. I mean, it wasn't me that did all the hard work, but yeah, it's I'm loving it. I'm loving being a granddad. It's fun. I know I don't look old enough. Shut up. I know. Anyway, what else has been happening? Oh, I did a little Twitter, not competition as such, but a few days ago, I got a little snippet of an album that I've just bought. And I said, who can guess what the album is? And I thought somebody'd get it really quick, and it took ages before anybody got it. And it's an album that I already knew well, but I had a bit of a dodgy copy of it. And it's this. I hope you can see that okay. The light shines on it. It's Steve Martin. Yes, that's Steve Martin. And the Steep Canyon Rangers. That's an album called Rare Bird Alert. The main reason I bought it, apart from the fact it's a great album, is a lot of you will know, but if you don't know, there's a song on here called Best Love, track 3. You can't see that because the light's shining on it. It's sung by Mr. Paul McCartney, and it's a really nice song. But that is a really nice album. So I sent, there's a picture of Paul there, and I just sent a little clip that was just of his head, like that. And it took absolutely ages for anybody to guess that. Scott says, do a Badfinger World Cup. I couldn't, Scott, because I don't really know much of their stuff at all. I wouldn't be able to do it justice. But hopefully there's somebody out there. If anybody out there is a massive Badfinger fan and you've got a YouTube channel, feel free to nick my World Cup idea and do a Badfinger World Cup. But make sure you let Scott know about it before you do it. Anthony says the Nebworth documentary has its release date. Yes, I saw that's going to be in September. It's going to be out, isn't it, at the cinema? So I'm very much looking forward to that. The last gathering of the pre-internet age. It's an interesting one, is that? Because I often wonder, saddo that I am, when when you used to get, in the early days of the internet, you'd often open up an album, you get a CD or whatever, and there'd be a little card in it, and at one point in this sort of, probably in the second half of the 90s, those cards started to have website addresses, and I thought, I wonder who was the first band ever to put something on their album or in a little insert or do an advert in a music press or something that actually had the website address. I would love to know the answer to that question. If anybody knows, I would love to know the answer to that, because I'm guessing it was probably around about maybe 93, 94. You might have got some like Netscape or AOL kind of address coming through. I've gone off at a right tangent there, haven't I, Anthony? Ruby, hi Ruby. I bought Memory Almost Full on CD from Oxfam yesterday. I love Memory Almost Full. I think it's a great album. I just, like a lot of people, I just wish it sounded a bit better. It's very loud, isn't it? So, really want a vinyl reissue. I can't see us getting an archive collection of Memory Almost Full, but a vinyl reissue would be brilliant. And they'd have to use the vinyl mastering that can't be as hot as the CD one. So I would really love to get that, because I think it's a great album. Apart from, here's a question for you all. First quiz question of the night. There is a song on Memory Almost Full that I consider to be the worst song Paul McCartney has ever released. And it's not Dance Tonight, before anybody says that. If you can guess which song it is, let us know, see who gets it right. Any new Ringo Mystic I'm getting into, says Lucas. I've got a load of his stuff, but the problem is all my CDs are in storage now, waiting for me to move, so I've kind of not got access to a lot of stuff if it's not stuff I'd already put into iTunes. So it's it's not easy for me to get at all my stuff at the moment. Here's the thing, good songs. She's Electric. Yeah, She's Electric. I realised today that the chorus of that is so similar to While My Guitar Gently Weeps. I don't know why, and I want you to know. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the way it goes high. And then, of course, the ending is just complete and utter with a little help from my friends, isn't it? Interesting. I never thought that. Could be Bowie with Bowie Net, says RoboTube. Possibly. Yeah, you wouldn't be surprised if Bowie got there before everybody. Right, we've got... it seems to be a straight battle between Gratitude and Nod Your Head. And I can tell you that those of you who have said Gratitude are correct. I think that is a dreadful song. I really do. I don't mind Nod Your Head. It's just one fun little throwaway, whereas Gratitude's actually trying to be something. And I just don't get it at all. Hi Shaker Maker, did I ever own any of the Stars on 45? No. I mean, that was like a real early 80s thing, wasn't it? I was listening to Pick of the Pops the other week on Saturday afternoon, and the week that they'd chosen, I think it was 1981 or 1980, and they had an ABBA medley that was Stars on 45, and it was, I mean, they'd done quite a good job of it, but it was a bit dreadful, really. Yeah, Gareth, Nod Your Head is fab. It's just one of them good fun McCartney lightweight songs that's not really meant to be anything big or clever. Hi Neil. Neil says, what do you think of the new Oasis documentary due? Let's have a bit of Britpop talk tonight. Talking of Britpop, new album purchase there for me. Cooler Shaker, Peasants, Pigs and Astronauts. I've had the CD since the day it came out, but I got it on vinyl just a few days ago. Love that album. But that wasn't your question, was it? What do you think of the new Oasis documentary? Really looking forward to it, because as I've said to people who've been on previous streams, I was at Nebworth. I was there on the second day. If you see an aerial shot of the crowd, I can pretty much pick out exactly where I was. I've got so many memories of that day. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I almost certainly will go to the cinema to see it and then buy it when it comes out. Motor of Love. Oh God, that's a contender for worst song. In my eyes anyway. I would have it, it's probably top two. If Gratitude's number one, Motor of Love is probably number two. Is Gratitude worse than Freedom? Well, yeah, I think it is. I know Freedom's pretty awful, but yeah. Yes, Bob, that is Cooler Shaker. You might have just heard me mention. Yes, that is Cooler Shaker, Peasants, Pigs and Astronauts. That is a great album. I love that. There's actually a little bit of... while we're on a George Harrison theme, because I know some of you will have tuned in because this is George Harrison theme, so I'm just going to do you a quick George Harrison Cooler Shaker story. I went to see Cooler Shaker about 4 years ago in Leeds, and they finished a song, and just before the next song started, this big backdrop came down of George, big picture of George, and it's that, there's those like psychedelic photos of each individual Beatle that was done around about sort of 67, 68, and they've got, it's a bit colourful, it's a bit psychedelic. I'm not explaining it very well, but anyway, that came down at the back, and Crispian Mills, lead singer of Cooler Shaker, son of Hayley Mills. He said, right, we're going to do a song now. This was a B-side from one of our early singles, and it's a B-side called Gokula. And Cooler Shaker love their Indian music. And the thing with Gokula is, there's George Harrison. I'm getting to the George Harrison bit, don't worry. Gokula has got a guitar riff in it that is the exact same riff as Skiing from Wonderwall Music, George's Wonderwall Music album. So he was explaining this, and he said, I had to, he said, when we were doing this, I had to phone George up. I had to get in touch with him and ask him if he was okay for us to use his riff in the song. And he said, George's reply was, that's Eric's riff. You can do what you like with it, which I thought was quite good. And then they went into Gokula with the which is from Skiing, Wonderwall Music. Anyway, I'm going off at some tangents tonight. What's going on? Do you enjoy Blur? Says good songs. Yes, I'm a big fan of Blur. I've got all their albums, a lot of the singles. Yeah, seen them live. Yeah, love Blur. Good songs. My opinion of the Cosmic Empire demo. You thought it was brilliant. I enjoyed it. One of the things that I really enjoyed about it, because I know the song already. I've got that. I don't have many bootlegs, but one bootleg I do have is the Beware of Abco, which is mainly demos from the All Things Must Pass sessions, and that's on there. But the version that I had was just terrible quality. This sounds so much better. But yeah, it's a nice little acoustic song, so I'm looking forward to having a good copy of that. Were there the photos from One, says Justin? Yes, I think you've nailed it there. You know the ones I mean, don't you? I think, is Ringo or George or somebody holding a dove or something in one of them? I think you know the songs I mean, yeah. There's a lot of people mentioning a lot of good things, and I'm trying to get to you all as well. I think I'm missing some of the chat with these tangents I'm going off in. But if I've not answered your question, if I've not discussed it, mention it again, and I will try and get to it as I always do. Hi Ray, hi to Miami. Hope you're all okay over there. Anthony, I haven't got that Sunshine Tomorrow Beach Boys set. No, I don't. Favourite Blur song? You Love Under the Westway. That's an intriguing one, isn't it? That was like a standalone single, roughly at the time they reformed the first time, wasn't it? Which is a good song. It's my favourite Blur song is I mean, I like a lot of the obvious ones. I do like a lot of the singles, but then if I was going to go a little bit more off-piste, I'd go for something like Caramel off 13. I think that's a fantastic song. So, yeah. Under the Westway is great as well, though. Right. Hi, Graham. Any news about the All Things Must Pass release? Well, we know it's coming on 6th of August, and that's kind of why I'm doing this tonight in anticipation of it, because if I do suddenly get the message to say that I'm moving out of here shortly, I'm going to have to pack all my stuff away, and it's going to be very difficult to do videos, but I thought, I know I can do it tonight. So yeah, it's out soon, Graham, 6th of August. I don't think there's been any news really, apart from this this new demo that came out since my last chat. Oh, hi from Liverpool, says Marcus. You all right? Yeah, Sunday. That's on. Is that on Modern Life is Rubbish? I think, which is a great album. I bought that on vinyl a few weeks ago for the first time. Anyway, I want to talk about this George Harrison All Things Must Pass World Cup that I've advertised this as, that I've not mentioned in the first quarter of an hour. So what can I say? So there's one thing. Excuse me. A little slurpy slurp of orange juice first. First thing that I want to cover is there was some talk last time about, do we include the apple jam stuff or don't we? And I thought about this. I considered both options because this is an important decision, guys and girls. And I took a quote from George eventually, and I'm going to show you this quote now because I'm prepared. I do prepare this rubbish, you know, and I'm going to show you this. George said, for the jams, I didn't want to just throw them in the cupboard, and yet at the same time, it wasn't part of the record. Keywords there. That's why I put it on a separate label to go in the package as a kind of bonus. George said it wasn't part of the record. So for that reason, the Apple Jams songs are not going to be a part of this World Cup. I think I saw a comment earlier on about is I Live For You going to be part of it. Again, no, because it wasn't on the album. It's only been a bonus track. It's a beautiful bonus track. It's kind of a shame that never made the album, really, because it's certainly better than bits and pieces that are on the album. Which, yeah, I don't want to knock the album because I absolutely love it, and I did a top 10 albums in the 1970s video a couple of years ago, and I put All Things Must Pass at number 1. So, you know, I'm not knocking All Things Must Pass, but I think I Live For You would have been a great addition. So, anyway, we are going to do this World Cup of All Things Must Pass songs. We are getting to it, don't worry. For anybody who's not done one of these with me before, either watched one that I've pre-recorded or did the last live one, which was World Cup of Let It Be songs. What's going to happen is there's going to be a draw. All the songs off All Things Must Pass are on little pieces of paper. I don't know whether you can read these because of the light that's shining. It might be difficult to read. But I've got all the songs listed here. And we're going to draw them out just like knockout style, you know, like it's going to be the FA Cup. It's going to be some sort of football tournament. You just draw them out and it's luck of the draw who gets picked. And I've got a range of categories that we are in each round. Each round is going to be a different category that we are going to decide the winner on. Well, you're going to decide the winner on because I've already realised it's too stressful for me to do it. So you're going to do it. So each round we'll have 2 songs pitted against each other in a category that might be songwriting, it might be overall enjoyment, it could be various things. Winner goes through to the next round and we keep going until we've got a winner of the All Things Must Pass World Cup. So, last time I did this, it took absolutely ages to do the draw, because I did the draw live with you, and then I had to get my spreadsheet, and I had to type it out on the spreadsheet orders, and it was a bit of a mess. So, what I've done is I have pre-recorded the draw, which I'm going to show you. I'm going to play it to you so you can see there's no jiggery pokery, and I've speeded it up and I've already created the spreadsheet. So that'll save us a bit of time because, again, I've put in the prep, folks. So before I do that, before I show you the draw and we get into this, let's just see if there's anything else come through. Excuse me. Will be interesting if both versions of Isn't It a Pity are up against each other. It would, and I know which one I'd vote for, because there's one of them I don't even think should be on the album. But that's just my preference. Are you going to do a straw poll for the chat? Yes, I am. And also what I'm going to do, because last time I mentioned earlier on that there was so much cheating. There was so much cheating when I replayed the video back afterwards. There was people they must have been just copying and pasting their answer and just do. So we had a bit of controversy, and I think the contentious one last time was Across the Universe versus Let It Be. I think was the one. So what I've done is there's a setting in YouTube, and when we start this, I'm going to switch that setting on, and what it does, it means that each person on here can only do one comment every however many seconds I decide. I'll probably decide 30 seconds, something like that. And I'll give you about a minute to vote. So I'll be switching that setting on shortly once we start, so that you can't just keep copying and pasting. Hi Lee, you've noted the House Martins above me. Yes, that was there last time actually. That got commented on. One of my favourite albums of all time. Worst George. I think I've seen a few people saying worst George. Do you know the songs that I dislike the most are ones that I can't even be bothered to learn the names of because they frustrate me so much. And it's gonna be something either on side B of Extra Texture or somewhere on Dark Horse, one of the more miserable ones. Those songs just, I hear them often and they just nothing remains in my brain of them because they're that forgettable. RoboTube says, I wonder if plucky little apple scruffs will get a decent cup run. Well, if this was down to me, I would certainly hope it would, because I think that's a great song. I love Apple Scruffs. So which one actually won? Was it Across the Universe or Let It Be? So I declared Let It Be the winner. It then looked like actually I'd got it wrong and that it was all Across the Universe. But then when I replayed the chat afterwards, I saw that most of the cheating was by people voting for Across the Universe. So actually Let It Be did win, so I did put the right one through. What do you think of the category Easy Listening for a World Cup? That's a contender. The thing is, with an album like this, because there's a lot of songs on it, it means there's an extra round or two compared to some albums, and you've got to think of more categories then. So Easy Listening, that's not one I've used. I will try and remember that. That could be interesting. Right, Blue Jay Way. I'm not a fan of Blue Jay Way. I agree with you, Gareth. I'm not a fan of that song, to be honest. Anyway, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you now the draw. Speed it up. Now, there are 18... let me just bear with me 1 second. There's 18 songs on All Things Must Pass. We need to get that down to 16 for the draw. So we need 2 preliminary matches so that we eliminate 2 songs. So the first 2 that get drawn out and the last 2 that get drawn out will be facing each other in a preliminary round. The winner's going into the first round proper. Okay, that's the technicalities out the way. I am now going to play you, if I can find the right button to press, I'm going to play you the draw video. Are you ready? I think I need to move over here actually because I know where it's going to appear on my screen. Let's go. Here we go. This is the draw video. So the first 2 go into a preliminary round, and the first 2 are Isn't It a Pity version 2 will play All Things Must Pass. Okay? To play, the winner plays in the first round, What Is Life? That could be interesting. So then we've got, I'll show you the spreadsheet in a bit. Let It Down is going to play Wah Wah. Then first round match, I'd Have You Any Time, opening song on the album, is going to play against Art of Dying from near the end of the album. We have then got If Not For You is going to play against I Dig Love. Okay, and this is a big clash next. Hear Me Lord plays against Ballad of Sir Frankie Crisp. Okay. We've then got Run of the Mill will play against Apple Scruffs. Behind That Locked Door is going to play against Isn't It a Pity version 1. And our last match in round 1 is A Waiting on You All, which is about to come out because I can see the spreadsheet, versus the winner of this preliminary match, which will be between My Sweet Lord and Beware of Darkness. There you go. That is the draw. I'm going to now show you the draw now that I've done it. And where I need to get back over here. Come on, I need to get me spatial awareness right here. So, right, we are going to do. I'm going to impose this little time limit. If you just bear with me 1 moment. It's called slow mode, and it means that each person can now only comment once every 30 seconds. Okay? So, right, we've got, first of all, we have got this preliminary round. So, the category for this is favourite. I just straight off want to know what is your favourite out of Isn't It a Pity version 2 and All Things Must Pass. Okay? Let me know in the chat which is your favourite version 2 of Isn't It a Pity or All Things Must Pass. The winner is going to go through into the first round proper. And I'm going to give you about a minute on that. Let's see what comes through. The chat slowed right down. Hopefully that's because you were concentrating on the draw. Hopefully it's not because you've all been kicked off and I'm talking to myself. So I think we're starting to get some votes coming through now. So remember, it's Isn't It a Pity version 2 versus All Things Must Pass. Which is your favourite song out of those two? Yes, this is not a surprise that All Things Must Pass seems to be absolutely Scott's the lone voice for Isn't It a Pity version 2 at the moment. All Things Must Pass, All Things Must Pass. I think we can see where this is going. There's been 2 or 3 votes for Isn't It a Pity, but All Things Must Pass is absolutely flying through on that. So you have put All Things Must Pass into the first round proper for an almighty clash against What Is Life. We're not doing that yet, though. We're going to do the other preliminary round. Okay, right, All Things Must Pass is through. We don't need any more votes on that. That is done. So the other preliminary round, again, which is your favourite song out of My Sweet Lord or Beware of Darkness? Going to give you a minute on that. Those of you that have been doing a vote, you should have your 30 seconds should be about up so you can post again. But I think I've nailed this. I don't think there's much if any cheating going on here at all. Hopefully. Which is good. Good for me anyway. Might save some arguments. So yeah, My Sweet Lord or Beware of Darkness, which is your favourite out of those 2 songs? The first vote that came in was for Beware of Darkness. That took an early lead. So we've got My Sweet Beware of Farkness. Similar. Beware of Darkness is doing okay because it is a great song and it's it would win against a lot of others. And although it's doing okay, I think we can see here My Sweet Lord is definitely pulling ahead here. Which is a bit of a shame. I mean, I had no issue with version 2 of Isn't It a Pity going out in the first round because in the preliminary round because I think it's just about, I don't understand why it's on the album, to be honest. My Sweet Lord versus Beware of Darkness, though, that's a heavyweight clash for a preliminary round. So Beware of Darkness has done okay, but I think My Sweet Lord has definitely won that, and that is going through into the first round. Can you all see that spreadsheet okay? Can you read it? Let me know if you can read that spreadsheet, because I can make it a bit bigger if necessary. It just means that I've just got to go further over here if necessary. I'll tell you what, I will just make it a bit bigger anyway. Let's just do this. Testing my technical skills is this. So, right, okay, we are now into the first round proper, ladies and gentlemen. And the category that I've chosen for the first round is songwriting. I'll just make this a bit bigger as well. Hopefully you can read that a bit better if I increase the size. So the category is songwriting. John says not really. Well, I'm making it a bit bigger, so hopefully it's going to come through. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to get further over. I'm going to go right into the corner of my room. And I'm going to make it that bit bigger. Hopefully you should be able to read that okay. I guess it depends whether you're on a big sort of computer screen or on a phone. Okay, that's probably as good as I can get it without me disappearing off the face of the earth. Anyway, let's crack on with this. So, the first round is songwriting, okay? That's the category we're basing this on. And my God, this is a heavyweight clash for the first round. A big hitter is going to go. So, All Things Must Pass versus What Is Life. 2 great songs. Which do you think for songwriting should be going through into the next round? That's All Things Must Pass or What Is Life. So let's give you a little bit of time to get some answers coming through while I take a little slurp. How's it going? Remember, it's All Things Must Pass versus What Is Life. Category is songwriting. Which do you prefer? I can make this bigger still, and I can scroll down as I need to. How's it going, the voting? Right, because I'm about 20 odd seconds behind you, so I have to wait a little while for it to come through. All things must pass, 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 pass. What is life, life, life? Pass, 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 life, life. Pass, 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 pass. All things must pass. Now, What is Life is one of the most joyous songs, happiest songs you could ever hope to hear, and it's a fantastic song. But, folks, you see the quandary that these World Cups put us in. The luck of the draw means that What is Life is getting dumped out in the first round, and All Things Must Pass is through into the last 8. Well done to the title track. Okay, so that's that one done. The next one down, remember the category is songwriting. It's Let It Down versus Wah Wah. Which do you think should go through into the next round based on songwriting? Let It Down or Wah Wah? Hi David, how are you doing? Hope you're well. There's an early vote come through for What is Life. Should hopefully see some votes coming through in a second with the time lag. So it's Let It Down versus Wah Wah. 2 best songs on the album. I guess you're probably referring to the first draw. Yeah, I think that's a good shout. What is Life could have got to the final with a kind of draw. So what we've got here, we've got Let It Down, Wah Wah, Let It Down, Wah Wah. Let it down, 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 wah, 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 down, wah, 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 wah. Oh, this is close. Wah, wah, wah. This is close. I think Wah Wah wasn't doing great, but a load of votes in a row have come through for Wah Wah. A lot of votes in a row have come through for Wah Wah. George's complaint about the situation with the Beatles towards the end. There was an absolute massive rush of votes come through for Wah Wah, and that has sent it through into the next round. Judge's decision. Right, okay, so our next first round clash, remember, songwriting is the category, and it is I'd Have You Anytime versus Art of Dying. Okay? I'd Have You Anytime, nice, gentle, relaxing start to the album. Big contrast to Art of Dying. Big sort of heavier rocker towards the back end of the album. But which one on songwriting are you going to send through into the next round? I'd Have You Anytime or Art of Dying? Let's see. We've got the first vote through for I'd Have You Anytime. Oh, I'd have you anytime. I'd Have You Anytime. I'd Have You Anytime has got off to a very strong start, I've got to say. Interesting. Yeah, it's because personally, I would have voted for Art of Dying here. But I think I'd Have You Anytime is definitely winning that one. Yep. Absolutely. I've got to be quick off the draw before you all get a chance. All your 30 seconds is up and you can all start doing second votes. But I'd Have You Anytime has definitely won that. That is going through into the next round. There you go. Okay, right, next one. Songwriting again is the category. It's If Not For You versus I Dig Love. And we're talking about songwriting here. Okay? Songwriting, If Not For You versus I Dig Love. I have a sneaky suspicion which one might win this. But we'll see. We'll see whether you agree. Should be getting some votes through soon. Okay, they're starting to come through now. So we've got If Not For You, If Not For You, 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 If Not For You. This is not a surprise to me. Yeah, then there's a couple coming through for I Dig Love. I mean, I Dig Love is just more of a bit of a jam with a few words, isn't it, really? It's all right. It's nice, it's good. If Not For You, I think as a songwriting, as a proper song, yeah, If Not For You has definitely won that. So, right, okay. Very good. If Not For You is through into the next round. So we're now into the bottom half of the draw. And we've got, this is an interesting battle. Songwriting again, the category. Hear Me Lord, so the closing song on the album, versus Ballad of Sir Frankie Crisp. Which do you think, in terms of songwriting, should go through into the next round? This could be interesting, I think. I think these are two massive songs. Hear Me Lord is one that didn't really grow on me properly until about 3 or 4 years ago. Even though I haven't known the album since it came out, like a lot of you may have done. I've known the album since about 1990, I think, when I bought it. So Hear Me Lord took a long time for me to appreciate. So what have we got coming through anyway? We've got, all right, votes are starting to come through now. This could be a bit closer. So we've got Frankie Crisp, Hear Me Lord, Frankie here, Frankie, here, ballad, here, ballad. It's level at 10-all at the moment. Here, Frankie, here, Frankie. I think your time's up. I've got to put the Ballad of Sir Frankie Crisp up, and that was close. In the time that I allotted, I think I counted 15 votes to 12 in favour of the Ballad of Sir Frankie Crisp. That's a wonderful, wonderful song, dedicated to the founder of Friar Park, George's home. And it's an absolutely pivotal part of the album for me, is that. So, right, that's through. Next one. Songwriting is the category again, just for any latecomers. To put through into the next round, either Run of the Mill or Apple Scruffs. Which one are you going to put through? Run of the Mill or Apple Scruffs? Run of the Mill, we've had we've heard sort of bits and pieces from the new release, haven't we? And it's sounding nice again. It's a lovely song. Both, I love Apple Scruffs. I can't deny it. I think it's a great song. I think it's got a great sort of clout to it as well. So I think we should be getting some votes through soon. Yep, they're starting to come through now. So we've got Run, Apple, Run, Apple, Run, Apple, Run, Apple, Run. I think I can only see one way that this is going. It's looking like Run of the Mill. Did I see somebody? Was it somebody just said, "Where's the top of the list?" Fleepy, where's the top of the list? I just had to scroll. There's the top of the list. I'll just show you if you want to have a quick look at that. I'd scroll down. I'm trying to make this big so people can see it on the screen. So it's there if you want to catch a quick look at that. But anyway, Run of the Mill versus Apple Scruffs. Run of the Mill has won that. That's going through, and I'm quite upset. Not for Run of the Mill because it's a great song, but the Apple Scruffs has gone so early because it's one of my favourites. Anyway, next, songwriting. Behind That Locked Door versus Isn't It a Pity version 1. So version 1 being the one that's further up the album, as in near the start of the album. B-side to My Sweet Lord in some countries as well on the single. Hi Sarah, how are you doing? No problem being late. No detention for that. Hi, Fleepy, yes, it's popped up in your recommended. Excellent. YouTube's actually recommending me. That's amazing. Yes, we're doing a World Cup, Fleeky. World Cup of All Things Must Pass songs, where you get to decide which song should make it through to the next round, and we're going to see which is going to be crowned the winner. Anyway, we've got some votes coming through, so let me keep an eye on this. So we've got behind isn't pity behind pity behind pity behind behind Isn't It a Pity has edged that. It was quite close. That's actually closer than I expected. But Isn't It a Pity version 1 has edged that, and I'm glad that's gone through, because I said earlier that Isn't It a Pity version 2, I don't understand why it's on the album. It's because Isn't It a Pity version 1 is so blooming great. It didn't need a second version that wasn't as good. Behind That Locked Door's never been a favourite of mine, to be honest, on the album. So anyway, the last game in round 1 it's another big clash. Songwriting, Awaiting on You All versus My Sweet Lord. Now again, there's going to be what I would regard as a big hitter getting knocked out in the first round here. So based on songwriting, which would you put through? Would it be A Waiting on You All or My Sweet Lord? Let's see what happens. And then we can put round 1 to bed and we can move forward into the last 8 in a new category. So let's just see. Right, we've got votes starting to come through. Lord, Lord, Lord. Lord, 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 Lord. A Waiting on You All has got 1 vote. Lord, Lord, Lord. I think you can see where this is going. I love A Waiting on You All. But yeah, it wasn't going to beat My Sweet Lord, was it? A Waiting on You All, I think, has to be the one that I am most interested to hear in the new remix, because it was just the most over the top Spectre wall of sound of anything on that album. So it'd be really interesting to hear what I don't know yet what's, well, it'll be what they have done with it, but what can they do with it? How much of that wall of sound was baked in sort of at the time of recording rather than been sort of added on afterwards? We will see. So anyway, everybody, you have completed round 1 of the draw. So we're moving into the second round now, or the quarter final, if we want to call it that. And the category I've gone for here is legacy. Which song do you think has either the biggest legacy in terms of its sort of standing within George's catalogue, how it's sort of it might be how it's fared over time, like does it still sound like a great song today, or has it sort of lost its way a bit? Which do you think has had the best legacy? I hope that makes sense. So our first matchup is All Things Must Pass versus Wah Wah. Which song of those two do you think has the best legacy? Okay, and that's to make it through into the next round. He's So Fine is suing to replace it on the list. Excellent. Right, okay, we've got some votes coming through, so let me concentrate. All Things Must Pass, all things, all things, all things, all things, all things, all things. 1 vote for Wah Wah. Many, many votes for All Things Must Pass. I don't think this is a surprise to anybody, surely. All Things Must Pass, yeah, it's one of George's absolute signature songs, isn't it? And of course, it's the title of the album. I think the way that it was used in the Scorsese documentary was fantastic. So, yeah, this is no surprise. All Things Must Pass. Wah Wah, as great as it is, has been dumped out in the quarter-final by the title track, All Things Must Pass. Okay. My goodness me, this isn't a battle of the heavyweights now. For legacy, I'd Have You Any Time versus If Not For You. One of those, I would say inexplicably, is going into the semi-final. But the way the draws worked out, that's how it's happened. So, I'd Have You Any Time or If Not For You, which do you think has the greatest legacy? I know which one I think might win here, and probably why, but let's see what happens. No votes come through yet. It's just starting to come through now. So we've got Anytime, If Not, Anytime, If Not, Anytime, If Not, If Not For You, If Not For You, If Not For You, If Not For You, If Not For You. Suddenly, whoa, If Not For You. It was very close at 3-3, and then all of a sudden, If Not For You, bang, 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 bang. No contest, says Bruce. I think you're right there. It was a contest right at the start, but it's If Not For You. And, I'm guessing as well, because you've not only got George Harrison fans who are going to know that song, you've got your Bob Dylan fans as well. So, I mean, that might be a factor in it, potentially. It's a better song as well anyway, I think. Okay. If Not For You has made it into the semi-final. I wouldn't have predicted that, but there you go. Look of the draw, and your votes have got it there. So, again, legacy. We're talking about Ballad of Sir Frankie Crisp versus Run of the Mill for our third semi-final place. So which are you going to vote for on legacy? Ballad of Sir Frankie Crisp or Run of the Mill? Let me know. Because have I been on 3/4 of an hour already? That's crazy. I've only just started. Right. So we've got votes coming through, and the first 2 votes are both for Run of the Mill. First 3, first 4, 5, 6, 7. This is taking me by surprise. It really is. So it's 7-0 to Run of the Mill. I'm a poet and I don't know it. 8. Ballads Frankie Crisp has a vote. Run of the Mill, Run of the Mill, Run of the Mill. Frankie. Well, it's clear which way this is going. And yeah, it's, Run of the Mill. These are both two, for me, these are both 2 big hitters on the album. I thought it might have been closer than that. I personally thought that Ballad of Sir Frankie Crisp and the whole sort of Friar Park connection might have even got it over the line, but no, Run of the Mill is through into the semi-final. And it's a great song, so I don't think there's any upset there. It's a great song. So our last quarter-final on Legacy. It's Isn't It a Pity version 1, which was the B-side to its opponent, My Sweet Lord. So in terms of legacy, which one are you going to put through? Version 1 of Isn't It a Pity or My Sweet Lord? I think we know which way this one might go. But let's see. Let's see whether you agree. Because that's just me. I don't want to put words in... I haven't put words in your mouth. I didn't say which way I thought it might go. But anyway, we've got Graham's first off the bat with his vote. With My Sweet Lord, My Sweet Lord, My Sweet Lord, My Sweet Lord, My Sweet Lord. Oh, Isn't It a Pity? He's got a couple of votes early on. 3 votes. My Sweet Lord, 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 Lord. Pity, Lord, Lord. I think for every vote that Isn't It a Pity gets, My Sweet Lord is then racking up 4 or 5. So there's only one way this is going. It's you need a beer, Bruce. I need a beer. I'm absolutely boiling here. Yeah, My Sweet Lord. I don't think that's any... Isn't It a Pity is a fantastic song. It really is. But I don't think it was going to beat My Sweet Lord there, was it? And it didn't. So we've got our semi-finalists. And, that's a good semi-final lineup. So, semi-final. The category I've gone for, and I can't add reverb on a live stream and close zooms up as I would if I'd pre-recorded this, but the category is epicness. Epicness. Which of these songs do you think is the most epic? And my All Things Must Pass is not short of epic songs. There's plenty on there. So, the first semi-final, epicness, is the title track All Things Must Pass versus If Not For You. Okay? So, let me know which one of those you feel to be the most epic song. Okay? Let's see what happens. You're doing well, folks. You're doing well. Hanging on in there. You are doing well. And it's been great. No cheating. Anyway, votes are coming through now. All Things Must Pass. Pass, 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 pass. If Not For You gets a vote. Pass, 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 pass. If Not For You gets another vote. But, again, it's like one of the ones we saw earlier. For every vote one gets, the other's getting 8, 9, 10 votes. I'm just going to shut my window, folks, because it's rattling the door. It's quite windy here tonight. Better. Okay. All Things Must Pass has absolutely sailed through there. No surprise, really. All Things Must Pass has made it into the final. A worthy finalist, I think, because it's an absolutely beautiful song. Okay, our second semi-final on epicness is Run of the Mill versus My Sweet Lord. Okay? Which do you wish to put in the final based on epicness? I'll close my curtains. That's what that noise is. Okay, so we should get some votes coming through fairly soon. You're voting for you're voting on epicness, Run of the Mill versus My Sweet Lord. Let's see what happens. Is the chat working? You've all gone very quiet. It's starting to come through now. This is no surprise, is it? Run of the Mill's a great song, but for epicness, we've got My Sweet Lord, 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 Lord. Run of the Mill gets a vote. Lord, Lord, Lord. Run of the Mill has made it to 3 votes now, but My Sweet Lord is absolutely trouncing it. Yeah, well, My Sweet Lord has made it into the final, which again is probably not much of a surprise, but you never know when these draws, if the way that these draws are, you could probably quite easily predict, I think it'll be All Things Must Pass versus My Sweet Lord, but them two could get drawn against each other in the first round and one of them's gone. But I personally think this particular World Cup, some World Cups go in a very strange direction, like the one that I did on early Beatles solo albums, the first 4 solo albums by each Beatle, and sometime in New York City made it to the semi-final. It was ridiculous, should never have happened, but it was the way that the draw worked out. So don't be voting on the final yet, okay? Don't be voting on the final just yet. I haven't told you what the category is yet. So, it's 2 absolutely wonderful songs. All Things Must Pass versus My Sweet Lord. And I'm going to tell you now that the category is purely overall enjoyment. Both of those songs come on. You listen to them, back and relax. Which one do you enjoy the most? All Things Must Pass or My Sweet Lord? This is to declare the winner of the All Things Must Pass World Cup. So choose carefully, people. I'm going to take the voting starting from where Caitlin has said, this is where I'm out and can't vote between the 2. Anything underneath that, I class as a vote. Okay? So, we've got My Sweet Lord, All Things Must Pass. My Sweet Lord, All Things Must Pass. It's 2-2 at the moment. All Things Must Pass gets a 3rd vote. There's not many votes coming through. All Things Must Pass. 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 Lord. This is brutal, James. Yes, it is. Pass. Lord. 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 Pass. Pass. Lord. Pass. Lord. There's only 2 in it at the moment. Pass. Pass. Lord. Pass. I'm wrapping up the voting in a few seconds. Lord, pass, pass, pass. Yeah. I've given you more than 30 seconds there. This is where people could start cheating now by putting second votes in. The winner at the point that I cut that off was All Things Must Pass. Oops. The winner of the World Cup of All Things Must Pass songs is the title track, All Things Must Pass, that has beaten My Sweet Lord in the final. I'm just going to let's just have a look at this full draw for a second. You don't need to see me just at the moment. Let's just make this a bit smaller. It might be too small for you to see, but that was interesting. There was a few big hitters got knocked out early on. Especially Apple Scruffs got knocked out early on. What Is Life got knocked out in its first round, so that was unexpected. But yeah, there you go. All Things Must Pass has won. That is your champion. I hope you enjoyed that, folks. I'll tell you what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take off the time limit thingy, slow mode, so you can post away now. I think that worked, imposing that 30-second limit. The Germany of the album, says RoboTube. Yeah, it's the All Things Must Pass World Cup is a game of 90 minutes, and at the end, All Things Must Pass wins. My Sweet Lord wins the consolation prize, but what a great song it is. It's an absolute all-time classic. But that really could have gone either way, definitely. Sad that Apple Scruffs didn't get a run. Agreed. Apple Scruffs, for me, would have won against a lot of other songs there. There was definitely a few choices in there that you made that were different to what I would have made had I been doing this on my own, pre-recorded. So, yeah, there you go. Will I be doing any competitions again, Andrew? Says Shaker Maker. I haven't got any planned. I mean, the last one wasn't planned, but then Capitol Records sent me a load of free stuff. So I thought, well, that's more than I can deal with, so I'll give a load of it away. I completely and utterly messed up the competition and had to send out 2 lots of prizes, both to America, both at 20 quid each for postage. Imagine my delight. So I haven't got any planned, but you never know. Bob says, idea for future World Cups, have us vote ahead of time in a poll to determine seeding. Interesting. I could also do polls to determine what we do a World Cup on. And I tell you, if I'm going to do stuff like that, if I'm going to do polls in advance, I can tell you now that the place where that will happen is on Twitter there. So I know that'll be good news for some of you and not so good for others of you. That's the look of the draw as for the theme of the evening. But that's where I would do such polls anyway. What would I have put as number 1? Says Harry. That's a good question. I'll tell you what. I'm just going to pull up the the draw again. What would I have done in this situation? Let's have a look. I would have, well, in this preliminary round, I would have had All Things Must Pass Go Through and My Sweet Lord, same as you all did. I would have had, that's tough. But I think on songwriting, I would have agreed there. Probably, yes, I did have agreed there. I would have put possibly Out of Dying Through. I hate to say this because I keep saying about how much I love Apple Scruffs. I may also have knocked Apple Scruffs out in the first round. So I think the only thing I would have done differently personally is that I might have put Art of Dying Through. And then as we go on, I would have put All Things Must Pass Through on Legacy. Yeah, probably the same. I might have put Frankie Crisp through. And I probably would have had to have put My Sweet Lord through. So Frankie Crisp might have got into the semi-final, but it would have been beaten by My Sweet Lord on epicness. So I think I would have ended up with the same two finalists. An overall enjoyment, I honestly don't know. That would be tough. I may have gone the same way as you. I think I would have definitely ended up with the same 2 finalists anyway. So... yeah, good question. Good question. How did Beware of Darkness do, says Nick. I didn't see it. Let me just... I can tell you that Beware of Darkness, in the preliminary round, it got drawn in the preliminary round against My Sweet Lord. So it didn't even make it to the first round, which is a shame because, again, it's a great song. Yeah, that got knocked out very early, unfortunately. Good Song says, I know it's like picking your favourite child, but if you had to pick, do you prefer Blur or Oasis? In here, in my heart, it's always Oasis. Up here, in the head, it's quite often Blur, but it's always going to be Oasis for me. Yeah, as a fairly idiotic early somebody in my early 20s, I did actually, when Bonehead quit Oasis, I was on to Creation Records that night applying to join the band to replace him. Ridiculous. That could have been fun. I'd have enjoyed that. I didn't get a reply, obviously. What was Graham saying? There is a song on the album, on the long fade out, you can hear He's So Fine, sung for quite a length. So George knew what he was doing with My Sweet Lord. The only thing, I'm not sure about that, Graham. The only thing I can think of that's sung for quite a while is the bit at the end of Isn't It a Pity, version 1, where it goes into like the Hey Jude refrain. Na 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 na, isn't it a pity? That's the only one I can think of. So I'm not sure. I'd have to listen out for that. If anybody knows the answer to that for Graham, let's let us know. What Is Life and Hear Me Lord are the best songs on this album, says Lee, in his opinion. They're two great songs, absolutely great songs, but they both got tough draws and got dumped out early on. They were unfortunate. Happy Hour is a great House Mountain song, Anthony. I tell you what, that whole album is brilliant. As it says on the front cover, does it say on the front cover of the album? Or might have just been on the CD version. 16 songs, 17 hits. It's an amazing album, is that. It's got absolutely no... there's nothing musically groundbreaking at all anywhere on that album. But I just absolutely love it. The World Cup makes you realise just how good the album is for every song. Yeah, there's not... I mean, there was a few clashes that went very much one way, but it was generally more to do with how great that winning song was rather than the other song being album filler like it might be with some albums. So, yeah, agree with that. Overall, this album is probably the best from an ex-Beatle. It's definitely right up at the top of the discussion anyway. It's definitely in that very top group. And number one is it's obviously down to personal opinion, isn't it? But yeah, could well be. Do you like The Beautiful South as well, says Bob? Absolutely, yes. A big fan of The Beautiful South. Again, got all their albums. And I'm also a big fan of what Paul Heaton and Jackie Abbott have done in the last few years. Their sort of 3 or 4 albums that they've done together have both been really good as well. Some great song. What's my favourite song by The Beautiful South? It's possibly the one that Paul Heaton says he regrets writing, and that's 36D. I think is a fantastic song. Old Red Eyes is Back is brilliant as well. They made so many good songs. London Nil Hull 4 is a brilliant album, absolutely. Right, here's something that I needed to discuss. It's from Jake. Will you watch McCartney 321 on Hulu? Well, my very strict answer to that question is no, because you can't get Hulu in the UK. But this leads me on to a question that I have an answer to, but I don't know if it's the right answer. And the big question is, for those of us that are in the UK, is will we be able to watch it? Now, apparently, stuff that goes on Hulu often ends up on Disney Plus in the UK. That's kind of like a natural route, apparently. That's where it is in the UK. But I've been looking at listings for things that are being released on Disney Plus. I don't see any mention of it anywhere. I've not seen any of Paul's adverts, for example, say, and also on Disney Plus in the UK. Nothing like that. So, as far as I know at the moment, I don't have any way of watching it because it's not. As far as I know, it's not going to be available in the UK, which is a bit annoying. I mean, I know I'm going to get to watch it eventually because it'll appear on something. It will hopefully maybe get some sort of a release to buy. I'm hoping even that maybe something like BBC 4 might show it. It's the kind of thing that if it didn't end up on streaming, I could even see BBC 4 showing it if it's not too expensive for them to get the rights. So that would be good. Yeah, Bob, VPNs. I keep thinking about this, and I've never quite sort of got my head. I've never quite wrapped my head around it. I know, for example, it would open up a lot of Netflix options as well if I did that. Get a free one for a week. That's interesting, yeah, because all the options that I've seen have paid, and I wouldn't use a VPN often enough for it to be worth paying for me. So yeah, whether I'll do that or not, I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably wait and see whether or not I'm going to get the chance to watch it properly somewhere else. Shaker Maker, do you remember where you were and what you were doing when John Lennon died? Yeah, I do actually. Although I was very young at the time. I won't say how young, but I can remember it being on the radio. I did talk about this in another video once. I think it was the How I Got Into the Beatles video. But I remember it being on the radio in the kitchen, and all I knew was that I knew that he was the guy who was on some of those albums that my mum and dad had, because we had about 4 or 5 Beatles albums in the house, and I knew that this was the guy from that. And I remember this was in the kitchen, and I remember my mum, she had her back to me. She was sort of against the kitchen sink, and she was kind of like holding on to the worktop, and I could tell that she was probably crying, and I was just sat at the kitchen table sort of thinking, this feels big. This feels big news that this guy's died. And that's really all I remember about it. Yeah, so that's one. Am I a Python fan? Yeah. The films, I love Life of Brian and Holy Grail, and a lot of the sketches, the original sketches from the TV show. There's one that doesn't get shown as much as all the classic ones, that was called Bicycle Repairman, which I just thought was a really funny sketch, where he was like a Superman kind of character, but he just went around fixing people's bicycles. That was good. Did I see that Supergrass are doing a deluxe reissue of In It For The Money? I did see something about that on Twitter a few days ago. I'm definitely, I'll have a look at that, because I think that was 97, wasn't it? And there was 3 big albums for me in 97. Well, not including Be Here Now, that turned out to be not as good as we thought, but In It For The Money, Flaming Pie, and OK Computer, Radiohead. So yeah, In It For The Money is a great album, and I might well look at that. Right, what else have we got? Yeah, Ruby, you like 36D as well, Beautiful South. Song for Whoever's Great. Have You Ever Been Away? That's a really early one, isn't it? A few of those songs you mentioned are really early. There's a song on the first album called I Love You But You're Boring, and that's a really good song. I really like that. It's just a daft little song, but it's really good. And I thought it was funny how on the next album they had a song called I Hate You But You're Interesting. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Any newer artists you're a fan of? For me, it's Tyler, The Creator, Kendrick Lamar, and Billie Eilish. There's one particular band that I am a fan of, and I've listened to them an awful lot over the last sort of 3 years, and that's the Lemon Twigs. 2 brothers, Michael and Brian Daddario from New York, and when the first album came out, I was listening to an interview where they actually had to record the first album during half term from school, and they only had that window to do it in, because they had to be back at school. They were like 16, 17. Absolutely brilliant band. They are so talented. They do all the music on the albums. They've got a full band for live, but it's like listening to early 70s rock. There's a lot of sort of Queen influences and The Who, Beach Boys. There's a lot of early 70s influences in there. The Lemon Twigs are superb. So they're my sort of big one for current stuff, because I'm an old fart now. I don't really listen to modern music much. Okay, send me through anything else that you've got before I wrap it up, before I melt completely. I probably shouldn't be wearing a big thick sweatshirt, to be honest. That was probably a mistake. Just in terms of what's coming up soon, because I am in this position where I could literally find out in the next couple of days, and in fact I hope I find out in the next couple of days, that I might have to be stripping this room bare and everything out of it very, very soon. So I don't know what videos I'm going to be able to do over the next couple of weeks or so. It's going to be really, really difficult for me to promise anything, because I just don't know I literally don't know where I'll be living in 10 days' time, is the situation I'm in at the moment. And if I go, all my stuff's got to go with me as well. So it's a bit difficult to plan, especially when I've got to disconnect all my equipment and put it probably into storage. I'll do what I can. It might be that live streams have to be more the thing I can do at the moment, until I can get set back up again and doing videos. But I'll do what I can, because I'm keen. I'm aware that in terms of pre-recorded videos, I've not had a chance to do a lot lately, and it's been for a lot of reasons. So I'll do what I can over the next few weeks, definitely. But the fact that we've got All Things Must Pass coming up, I want to be all over that. I said I would be all over it. And anything All Things Must Pass related, I will make sure I am set up and able to cover that, definitely. Unboxings, reviews, that kind of thing. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. Good Song says, underrated Nick Drake songs in your opinion. Well, it's kind of hard for me to know what would class as underrated, because, I mean, he's not somebody who gets loads of publicity, so you don't hear certain songs lauded. I've always been a massive fan of Cello Song that's at the start of Five Leaves. Is that the start of Five Leaves Left? It's somewhere on it anyway. That's a big favourite of mine. One of These Things First, Chime of a City Clock. In fact, underrated Black Eyed Dog. That is a brutal song. It's one of the last ones that he did before he died, and he wasn't in a good place up here. But that's a fantastic song. Horn is another good underrated one. So best lyrical line in All Things Must Pass. Says Bruce, you've been stood around for years, seen my smiles and touched my tears. That's Apple Scruffs, isn't it? Sometimes it's really hard to place a lyric. I like some of the stuff on Awaiting on You All, where, like, for example, about the Pope owning 51% of General Motors, just the little digs that he gets in there. I like that kind of stuff. Like Sarcastic George, because you know damn well he was being sarcastic while he's singing about while the Pope owns 51% of General Motors. And the stock exchange is the only thing he's qualified to teach us, taught us, something like that. So I like that one. Thank you, Sheffield and Beyond. And can we just say thank you to Sheffield and Beyond, because it was his idea to do this World Cup of All Things Must Pass songs. So I thank you, and hopefully a few more other people will pass their thanks along as well. Glad I've been able to do this for you. Anthony says, I scrolled down and it disappeared. He said something. Am I going to attempt to get the Beatles stickers and McCartney 3 poster off the door? It's a good question. The McCartney 3 poster, that's no problem, because that's just blue tack. That will come off. But these, that's blue tack. That's blue tack, which you can't see very well unless I do that. They're all blue tack, but these stickers here are actually stuck on, and I have no idea what's going to happen. So either the next people who move into this house might have to live with it, or I might have to try. I don't think I'm going to be able to rescue them. They're going to be in a bad state if I get them off. But that's a shame. Live at the BBC sticker as well. I don't know where I'd replace that one from. Neil says, where did I get my shelves from? I've just moved and want a vinyl display. Well, I don't think you're going to get those, because I've had a few people ask me this in the past. So I've looked up. I know that I got them from Argos, and I've searched and you can't. They're just not there anymore. I've had these shelves. I got a couple of them about 20 years ago, and then the other couple that are actually slightly different design I got about 5 years later, so you can't get them. Maybe a Kallax from IKEA would be the nearest thing. But the good thing with these shelves is that I can have shelves wherever I want on that. So it's normally my CDs that are mainly in there, and my McCartney archive collections, but they are all in storage at the moment. So yeah, you're not going to be able to get that exact one, unfortunately. Good to see that Sheffield and Beyond is getting some thanks for his suggestion. The stock exchange is the only thing he's qualified to quote us. That's it. I was trying to think of teachers, but that just didn't sound right. Quotas, you're right. It's hard to think when you're on the spot like this, and there's a bloody great big light up there shining right in my face, blinding me. Here's a good one, Sarah. Have you seen the Jack Black Tenacious D cover of the Beatles medley? I have. It's superb. It's the Abbey Road medley, isn't it? It's really good. Really, really funny as well. Some very funny lyric changes as well. And I saw that. I saw it probably like a lot of people because Paul McCartney shared it online. It's worth watching for anybody who's not seen that. Do a search for the Tenacious D Beatles medley. It's very good. It's very funny. Scott's saying that the McCartney 321 documentary will be released on Friday the 16th of July, which is in 2 days' time, on Hulu in the United States and on Disney Plus as a Star Original internationally. Thank you, Scott. Now, I have seen that. Now, I don't know, I haven't yet got Disney Plus, but I am going to be getting it very soon, because for the purposes of being a granddad now, I want to be able to entertain my granddaughter with when she comes round with, and I don't just mean plonker in front of the telly, in front of Disney Plus, but it'd be nice to have it. And obviously I want it for Get Back, for the Peter Jackson film. I presume Star Originals are just on the normal Disney Plus, but like I said, I did a search of things that were coming on Disney Plus, and there was no mention of it. So although that sort of seems quite definite, I've still not seen it advertised anywhere. So yeah, Kallax is good for vinyl, RoboTube, definitely. Thank you, Matthew. I'm not going to read that out because I'll blush, but thank you. Might I be an XTC fan? Do you know what, Matthew? A very, very early favourite song of mine as a kid was Sensors Working Overtime. I absolutely adore that song, and I have done since it came out in late 81, early 82, something like that. And I've tried to listen to a few albums and they've not grabbed me. But I get a lot of people saying, oh, you really need to listen to XTC. There's a lot of Beatles influences there. And I'm still waiting for it to grab me, but Sensors Working Overtime will always be one of my favourite songs. So, yeah, strange, I know. Yeah, so, anyway, folks, I am wrapping it up for tonight, because I'm melting, my voice is going, I've got work in the morning, that's enough reasons for anybody. I've been awake since 3:30 this morning, and yesterday morning as well, so I'm knackered. So I'm going to say thank you very much to everybody who took part in the All Things Must Pass World Cup. I enjoyed it. I hope you did as well. I think we had definitely 2 worthy finalists and a worthy winner. So thank you for that. And I hope to see you again very soon, but I don't know in which room. I will be back in some shape or form very soon, whatever form I can be in my current situation. But thank you for tuning in, everybody. You've all been awesome. And I will see you again very soon. This is me checking out. Catch you later, folks. Goodbye.